This is my first time going live vertically, and I kind of don't even expect everybody to be able to join at this random time on a Friday, but I would like to officially respond to my brother in Christ, Lecrae. For those of you that don't know, Mr. Lecrae is a gospel musician, gospel rapper, pretty popular guy. I mean, from my understanding, I believe he's worked with Diddy and he's worked with some other celebrities or whatever. Well, Lecrae is a member of a fraternity, or at least he once was. And Lecrae decided to come out with a video today, not even 2 hours ago. Hey everybody, so I'm responding to Lecrae. This will be my official response to Lecrae. I have a 2-3 hour drive ahead of me, and I wanted to just hop on this as soon as possible because where I'm going, I actually don't have my MacBook with me. But the gospel musician, the gospel rapper Lecrae, actually featured a clip from my podcast on his YouTube channel today, where I was calling out fraternities and sororities, and I'm actually the very first clip on his video, and I was very curious to hear what he was going to say, and he did what a lot of people was telling me he was going to do. He did a lot of excuse making for fraternities and sororities. So I wanted to just give give official response. Hit the like button on your way in if you don't mind. Let me first say that Lecrae, I was going to use the word bold. Maybe you're just arrogant. I'm not sure which it is. To make an entire video debunking all of the rumors and the conspiracies about fraternities and sororities, as if people will not make response videos and expose you for not being honest, brother. I'm not even a fraternity member, so I'm not even going to pretend to be a fraternity member. But there are so many ex-fraternity and sorority members that have come out and denounced these things that don't even know each other all across the country, bro. In his response video, where he played a clip from my podcast, he played I believe Melissa Blair may have been shown, but I know another young lady, I forget her name. Her and Melissa Blair are like the top two most popular people on the internet when it comes to exposing fraternities and sororities. It's Melissa Blair and the other girl. Lecrae, the first thing that Lecrae said in his video was he said that it's actually not true that there isn't a single fraternity or sorority that gives any sort of allegiance, any rituals to any Greek entities. This is what he said. Bro, there are countless videos all over the internet, Lecrae, of people saying just that. Omega Psi Phi, Kappas, and Alphas. All of them have come out, bro. Exposing how they beat on, how they have to bow down to an altar, brother. How dare you come on the internet and say that that's actually not real? That's not true. I've never been in a fraternity, so I'm not going to come here as the expert. But there are so many people, I'm relying on the people who've been through it and what they're saying. And there are all these videos out there. I guarantee you Melissa Blair, I already saw that she commented under it. I texted her as soon as I saw it. I guarantee you she's going to make a response video debunking every single claim that this dude made. Lecrae said that he renounced his fraternity years ago because he used to think that fraternities were demonic. But he no longer thinks that. He no longer thinks that fraternities and sororities are demonic. He said he sees it differently now. I watched almost the entire 38 minutes of his video, so you don't have to, unless you want to. And Lecrae decided to also address the fact that a lot of us are hypocrites, because if we're wearing Nike clothes, then that means we're supporting things that don't necessarily align with what we typically support. That is what Lecrae said. Lecrae, that's not the same thing. Idolatry is idolatry. I agree with you. But there's a difference. He even said that people are hypocrites because no one is complaining about like Phi Beta Kappa, like the honorary organizations, the honorary societies, the academic honorary societies. He said if someone joins one of those, which is a Greek organization, people are not raising as many red flags or complaining as much the way that they do with Greek and black Greek letter fraternities. He said, why is that? He believed it's because people are paying more attention to the behaviors of Greek fraternity members and sorority members, the ungodly lifestyle, the worldly lifestyle that they're living. He said people are paying more attention to them in the way that they're living instead of the organization itself. If that's not the most... Lecrae showed so much cognitive dissonance. He displays so much mental gymnastics in this interview. In this video. I couldn't believe it. Lecrae, this is my response to you, brother, if you see this video. That is not the reason why people are calling it out. Even though I don't believe in joining any type of Greek fraternity or sorority, even the honorary academic ones, even though I don't agree with joining any of them, there is a difference, and you know there is a difference between joining that organization and joining one of the non-Greek fraternities or sororities. When you're bowing down to an altar to pray to these gods like Apollo, I believe the Kappas, you got to say, when you're taking things like the scriptures and you're exchanging the scriptures like the name Jesus Christ, only the most important name in the entire Bible. When you're exchanging out the name Jesus Christ for AKA or whatever your fraternity or sorority name is, that is demonic by definition, bro. That's demonic by definition, bro. Lecrae even said, this is crazy. Lecrae said that he's not going to speak on the rituals that he went through. Is it because you vowed to never share them? He said he's not going to speak on the rituals that he went through, but he'll speak on other fraternities. And he said from his understanding, what he heard about other fraternities was that even during their ritual process, they even used the Bible. He said because that was their way of trying to include God in some type of way in their ritual process. He doesn't talk about the other things that they have to say and do. Just because the Bible is present doesn't mean that it's godly. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to hit my Dr. Umar. Just because a Bible is present does not mean that what you're participating in is godly or righteous. I got the sense throughout Lecrae's video that he was proud, and he's still proud to be an ex-member of a fraternity. In fact, I guarantee you most people watch the video is going to get that vibe from him. He's talking about how he's branded on his arms. Why are you bragging about that, brother? That's not something to brag about, man. It's not a good thing that you branded your body. Your body is sacred. It's not a good thing that you branded your body for this fraternity. Isn't that enough proof right there that something is wrong? Now, I will give him credit. He mentioned in the video that, in his opinion, he do not agree with the rituals, the humiliation rituals where people are getting beat up on. He said he does not agree with that. He feels like they should be more like the military, and they should make people hit push-ups, do jumping jacks, get in shape, run drills, which my understanding is they already do that. They just do that with other things that are sexual physical, mental, and verbal. But the way he talked about that, he didn't even talk about that as if it was a bad thing in itself. He was just saying there's better ways. Bro, what about the fact that the very things that y'all are doing in that organization is very reminiscent of slavery? The very thing you're supposed to be against as a so-called black person, especially as a so-called black American, especially, is the very thing that you're putting other so-called black people through in your initiation rituals. But, and here's the craziest part about his video. Lecrae said in his response, and I took it as a response to me, Melissa Blair, and a couple of other people who've been like the biggest voices when it comes to exposing this. And that's probably about 8 to 10 of us. Lecrae goes, his reason for denouncing or renouncing his fraternity wasn't even because he felt like it was demonic. He said the ultimate reason he did it was because he was aligning himself with people who weren't that savory, with unsavory people. That's what he said. And then he goes on to say he don't even blame that on the fraternity. It's not the fraternity's fault. It's not the culture that the fraternity has created. It's not the people that the fraternity has selected. It's not the rituals that they had to go through and the psychological attack that is being placed on people that are joining these organizations. It's not about the humiliation that you're put through verbally, how you're talked down upon verbally when you're joining these organizations. It's not about that. That's what Lecrae said. Lecrae, brother, I'm coming in love with this response, man. You quoted scripture, you talked about John the Baptist and all of this in your video, but respectfully, bro, it sounds to me and it seems to me that you're trying to please the world. You're trying to play both sides. For you to say that fraternities and their rituals is not demonic, it's just categorically false, bro. It just is. It just is. You can't serve two masters, dude. And for you to say with a straight face that there isn't a single fraternity or sorority that is giving praise to any false gods or any Greek entities. How could you come out on a public platform and say that, bro? All the people out here that have been talking about it, they're reading from their ritual books. I saw people in your comment section saying, Lecrae, I love you, bro, love your music, but you should really open your ritual book with a new pair of eyes. Go back and read what you were saying, what they had you saying, bro. And it's going to blow you away. Clearly, Lecrae has not done that. And speaking of Lecrae's music, Lecrae is talented, but in my opinion, much like the video that he put out a couple of hours ago, if that, Lecrae's music gives me the impression that he's trying to please both the church and the world. I understand from a marketing perspective, if you can rap like the Migos, but your lyrics are godly, then maybe you can pull more people closer to Jesus. But I heard a quote one time that's very important, and I think it applies here. Nowadays, when it comes to dating, it's hard to tell the women from the HOEs. The women, or the better way to say it, the more appropriate way to say it, it's very difficult to tell the godly women from the ungodly women, from the worldly women, because they all dress the same. Because they all dress the same. Lecrae, if you looking like godly. If you look like the Migos, if you sound like the Migos, but you just saying different words, brother, I don't know. He has a song, he got brick by brick, stack it up, stack it up, stack it up, stack it up. That was one of the songs that he put inside of this video response to me and everybody else who's been criticizing fraternities. I appreciate the shout out. I appreciate you putting me in your video, bro. But I don't care who you are. If you're supporting something that's ungodly, bro, we got to call it out. And what you did today, man, is just, it was disappointing. Because I said, like, it takes a lot of courage for you to come out and make a video like that if you're not going to denounce it. And you made a video and you did you found all these new ways and angles to support it. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy, Lecrae. For real. He said that many of us are hypocrites. I agree that there's a lot of hypocrisy, but that doesn't justify the things, or that doesn't change the things that's being said about fraternities and sororities, bro. He gave us the history of the Boule. Can you believe that? Lecrae spoke on the Boule, but what you noticed, if you go and watch Lecrae's video, at no point in time, Lecrae never mentions the fraternity. He gives us the history of black Greek letter fraternities. He goes back in 1904 was the very first fraternity. And you got to remember, black people were not too far removed from slavery. Some people were still being lynched. This is a time when you had a lot of racist white people, and the system hated and was trying to prevent so-called black people from being able to read, go to college, let alone go to any top colleges. He said, this is what we were dealing with at the time. That's what he said. He never tells the people the name of the organization. The name of the organization, Lecrae, is called the Boule. And you may be right. You said that they pull different rituals and ways in which things that they practice from people from a high society in Europe. He said that's what the Boule pulled from. Well, it wasn't just Europe, bro. If Europe at all. It was also Egypt. It was different parts of Africa, ancient Kemet. And what you don't do is you don't tell people what the rituals are. Because you know if you mention what the rituals are, everything else you say when you're trying to argue and convince people that it's not demonic is going to fall flat. And I'm going to tell you why I'm really upset with Lecrae's video. I'm really upset with his video because Lecrae was very, very persuasive in his video. He was very manipulative because he was talking about all the good things, all the great things that he learned in the fraternity. He learned how to conduct business meetings. He learned how to do marketing. He learned how to start a business. He learned how to conduct himself in professional settings. Lecrae, how about you tell people what else you learned? How about you do that? Crazy. That blew my mind, bro. That really, really disappointed me. But I'm gonna get to where I'm going, and I'm gonna give a much better response, a much more holistic response when I'm back with my MacBook in a couple of days. But yeah, I just wanted to give an immediate response to the video that Lecrae made today, where he featured my video about fraternity and sororities. And I just want to say, Lecrae, you didn't debunk much of anything, bro. You didn't. You didn't debunk much of anything, bro. And respectfully, you should be ashamed of yourself. Like, you did do your part in saying that you would not recommend your children to join a fraternity, but your reason was wrong. You didn't say it because it's demonic. You said because there are better ways to go about. If you want to be in a brotherhood or sisterhood, go to church. If you want to do community service, go to church. I like that you're encouraging people to go to church, but that's just not the way to do it, bro. You got to denounce it and you got to stand 10 toes down. It sounds like you're trying to please everybody, people in the church and people of the world. And that's a problem, brother. Crazy, man. Well, heck yeah, man. Y'all in the comment section, let me know what y'all think. Go and check out Lecrae's video, because when I come with my much more full response, it's going to hit different. All right? But I just wanted to give an immediate response before the weekend hit. Until next time. I don't even know how to end this live. How do I end it?